there's a last look, I think, on your character when you're talking with Noah that I love. There's just, it's no dialogue or anything, but like a sort of an offering is made and you take it, and I see, I don't know what you're thinking, but like I see surprise on your face.
There are a lot of commentaries in this movie that I think are very interesting. For example, the apes in these movies have rise in power, I think, by learning from humans and their understanding of civilization, you know? But it's very interesting how, in a certain way, a character like Proximus Caesar emulates these charismatic leaders that ultimately led humans to extinction. That makes sense for you?
Yeah.
And what do you think about that?
Very observational, I agree. He's an interesting character that we can see reflected back in, I think, you know, not only our own current times around the world, but also throughout history of humanity. We've had figures like this, but it's also interesting about him as a figure. He's right.
Yeah.
On almost everything he says, he's actually right, which I think is really interesting. And so that's what we try to do in these movies, is make them interesting. You know, there's no black and white really. It's kind of gray, you know, maybe with the exception of Noah. You know, in a weird way, Noah as a character who starts out so pure and innocent and naive up front. If you look at the last shot of him in the movie, he has a look on his face that we have not seen him make ever. And it's a look of, I don't know, maybe cynicism. You know, he's almost been poisoned with this idea, a true loss of innocence. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's great. There's really cool stuff in the movie to kind of chew on if people, you know, care to look. Yeah.
No, I totally agree because, for example, your character, I think she's great because she represents how humans tend to claim things that are part of nature, like this is mine, and I can control it, but this is mine. And we cannot learn how to inhabit with all the living things and with all things. And I would like to know what do you think about that, because I think it's very interesting how she shows these aspects of human nature.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, because it's so far in the future, I think from where she stands, she's just out to protect the people that she, you know, has grown up with and that she's loved. And so that's where she's coming from. But yes, naturally within her journey, you see even where she goes and the things that she ends up doing, and that she slips into the you know, the problems that we fell into in the first place. Circumstantially so, but it's definitely, you know, symbolic of that, I suppose. But
there's a last look, I think, on your character when you're talking with Noah that I love. There's just, it's no dialogue or anything, but like a sort of an offering is made and you take it, and I see, I don't know what you're thinking, but like I see surprise on your face. You know, that there's she is a different person in that moment than when she arrived in that scene. Yeah, the world you thought you knew is not the way it is.
He's far more decent than I could ever have imagined.
Yeah. And then I think, you know, that we always talk about, like, you know, if as these movies hopefully roll on, you know, that central question of these movies is always, can there be peace between these two species? Can they coexist? And if there is any hope that there is, it will be between those two characters and what they've shared together, you know. And that's obviously going to be complicated and difficult, but that's going to be fun to explore, I think.
I think they are as close as it gets to, can apes and humans live side by side? You know, you have that other, you know, spoiler, human character, but it's like he's almost a slave.
That's right.
You know, and they are as close as it could be to becoming allies, I suppose.
And isn't it interesting that it's two young characters that are thinking about those ideas, you know? I think it's cool. You see that throughout this whole thing, characters challenging their elders or their way of life that they have become normal. It's cool stuff.